Malaysia once had 3 match factories. Sabah had one, Taiping in Perak had another, and Kelantan in the country's rural northeast had a third. The first 2 closed at undetermined dates, and what that means is straightforward. The Kelantan Match Factory now stands alone as the only facility of its kind still operating in the entire country. This is not a museum or heritage demonstration. This is a working commercial operation producing matches for sale, and it has been doing exactly that since 1933. Founded that year, reportedly by a trader who arrived from Mumbai, India, the factory occupies 1.13 hectares in Sungai Keladi, a district within Kota Baru, the capital of Kelantan State. Every single day, approximately 96,000 matchboxes leave this facility, produced using machinery and methods that would look immediately familiar to workers from 9 decades ago. Bernama, Malaysia's official news agency, has confirmed its status as the country's sole surviving match manufacturer, and the Fundació Joan Miró Museum in Barcelona describes it the same way in materials promoting an exhibition running through May 2025. What stands out here is not merely that the factory exists, but that it has resisted every pressure to modernize, automate, or close for over 90 continuous years. Modern match facilities elsewhere have adopted computerized continuous dipping systems capable of churning out millions of matches per hour with minimal human involvement. The Kelantan factory operates nothing like that. Vintage machines handle most of the physical work, and human hands finish what those machines cannot complete. The equipment is old, some of it original to the factory's earliest years. The techniques remain traditional, and the owner has publicly stated he may shut everything down within the next 3 to 5 years if conditions do not improve. Tan Chon San acquired the factory in 1995, becoming its 3rd owner since the original founding by the Mumbai trader. At its historical peak, this single facility employed up to 1,000 workers spread across multiple production shifts. Before 1998, the headcount still hovered around 250 people, operating 2 daily production cycles. That changed when the Asian financial crisis devastated Malaysian manufacturing, and the trajectory established during that period has continued without reversal. The workforce has shrunk to between 25 and 30 employees working a single shift, 6 days per week, from 8 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. What those numbers reveal is a decline of over 97% from peak employment. The people who remain have been there a long time, and their ages tell a story about succession that nobody has solved. We, the factory manager, is 75 years old in 2023. Mahmoud Mod Noor, one of the supervisors, is 85 and has worked at the facility for 3 full decades. A documentary by Malaysian visual anthropologist Wei Yan Lo captures what she describes as the aging, both mechanical and human, that defines this place. The machines are wearing out. So are the workers. Nobody is training replacements. Production unfolds across 3 separate buildings, deliberately positioned apart for fire safety. Matchstick manufacturing, which involves flammable chemicals and wooden materials, stays physically isolated from box assembly in a different structure. The entire operation follows a 7-step mechanical sequence, mixing machine work with manual labor at several critical points. Box manufacturing begins with the outer box machine, which takes thin wood pieces, folds them into shape, applies adhesive, and wraps them in printed paper to create the exterior sleeve. Completed outer boxes move to a dryer machine, where they cure for 10 minutes before a separate inner box machine produces the sliding interior compartment. What most people miss about this process is how much hand labor remains embedded in it. 3 workers spend their shifts pasting labels onto finished packages entirely by hand, a task never automated at this facility. The final step involves applying striking surfaces containing carbide friction materials to the sides of each box. This formulation follows traditional safety match chemistry, pioneered by Swedish inventors during the 1850s. The key innovation of safety matches was splitting the ignition reaction between 2 separate components. The match head contains no phosphorus. Earlier matches included phosphorus, and that made them capable of igniting from accidental friction. Instead, the friction strip on the box contains the necessary compound and ignition only occurs when the match head scrapes against that specific striking surface. The design eliminated accidental fires from matches igniting in pockets or during transport. That was the whole point. The customer base has shifted dramatically over the decades. Today's primary purchasers include Hindu temples that use matches for ceremonial flames, Thai Buddhist temples with similar ritual needs, and rural villagers who burn rubbish. One customer said they valued the distinctive smell of sulfur, a sensory quality that evokes nostalgia for earlier generations. The 1998 Commonwealth Games marked a peak when the factory produced commemorative matches, but that same year brought economic collapse. The math never worked after that. Wood supply presents the most pressing operational problem. Originally, matchsticks came from locally sourced Tarantang and Simpul Paya wood from Malaysian forests. Widespread deforestation eliminated that domestic supply entirely, forcing a shift to imported Chinese wood at international commodity prices. The cost has surged by nearly 30% in recent years, squeezing margins precisely when revenue has been declining. Demand for matches had already been collapsing when that increase arrived. Lighters displaced matches in most households years ago. More recently, vaping devices have further reduced occasions when anyone needs open flame. The market that once supported 3 factories and 1,000 workers at this single facility has contracted to a fraction of its former size. International recognition arrived through Wei Yan Lo's documentary The Last Match Factory, produced with local film collective Rumah Kosong during her PhD work at Leiden University. Her footage anchors an exhibition at Fundació Joan Miró in Barcelona, running from November 12, 2024 through May 11, 2025, curated by Martina Milla. The exhibition frames the match as a symbol of resistance against obsolescence and highlights that the factory employs mostly women, connecting it to the famous 1888 London match girls' strike at Bryanton May. What separates Kelantan from other heritage sites is that it remains commercially active. The Częstochowa factory in Poland ceased production in 2010 and now operates as a museum. Swedish Match Industries runs modern automated plants that bear no resemblance to traditional methods. Kelantan maintains genuinely vintage machinery, uses hand labor at multiple stages, and produces real output for commercial sale. It is definitively the last such facility in Malaysia. 91 years of continuous operation spans colonial administration, Japanese occupation, independence, economic crisis, and technological upheaval. The Chile brand matches reaching temples and rural villages today carry forward a product predating modern Malaysia itself. Approximately 96,000 matchboxes leave daily, accumulated at that rate through every decade since 1933. The workforce that once numbered 1,000 has declined to fewer than 30, and the owner has stated plainly that closure may come within 5 years. The 75-year-old manager and the 85-year-old supervisor represent expertise that took decades to acquire and that cannot easily transfer. Whether the factory survives depends on factors beyond its control: Chinese wood prices, remaining demand in a lighter and vaping era, and the willingness of an owner to absorb losses for tradition's sake. For now, workers still arrive 6 days per week. The machines still run. The matchboxes still accumulate. The Kelantan Match Factory remains what it has been since 1933, a place where fire waits in chemical form, ready for the strike that brings it to life. It worked for 91 years. Whether it works for 92 remains uncertain. If this story caught your attention and you want more documentaries about industries most people never witness, please subscribe. Subscribing helps us keep making them.